protests since January. More from Victoria Gatenby.
An attempt by security forces to break up a protest in the city of Ta'az. Loud shots can be heard. If President Ali Abdullah Saleh thought his offer to step down within the next 30 days would satisfy these protesters, he was sorely mistaken. They want him to go, and to go now.
Ali Saleh is a liar. We don't believe him. He has been lying for 33 years. He has not been trustworthy in anything. If he was trustworthy, one or two lies won't be a problem. But we don't trust him.
Under the plan put forward by the Gulf Cooperation Council, President Saleh would hand over power within 30 days in return for immunity from any future prosecution. A government of national unity would then be formed and fresh elections would take place. Members of President Saleh's government have urged Yemen's various opposition parties to accept the deal.
The President and the ruling party agree with this initiative, with all its items, and this will be in accordance with the Constitution of the Republic of Yemen.
But even if all the opposition parties agree, which is by no means guaranteed, it seems the protesters on the streets will not. And if that remains the case, it begs the question, how can this plan ever be successful? President Saleh has been in power for more than 30 years, and many demonstrators won't agree to anything other than his immediate removal from power. In the port city of Aden on Saturday, the streets were empty after calls for civil disobedience. And with some opposition leaders calling for a general strike, Yemen's political stalemate looks far from over. Victoria Gatenby, Aljazeera.
Well, we're joined by Mohamed Qubaty in London, who's a former advisor to the Yemeni Prime Minister. Mr. Qubaty, thank you very much indeed. We should say that the man who used to advise the former Prime Minister has now quit, objecting to what's happened in the country in the last few months. So let me ask you, first of all, is there something in this exit plan for President Saleh that will appeal to all Yemenis, or is there a problem here?
Thank you very much, David, for pronouncing my name this time correctly. And then I quitted actually before a month or 2 months, but I'm always on the bad books of the government for the past 13 years. And I'm sorry to convey to you bad news. I've just heard now over the telephone a few minutes ago that the president has really dashed everybody's hopes, and he has refused. He came out and said he will not give power. The only way he will be giving power is through the ballot box. This was just only perhaps within the last 1 hour. And this is actually bringing into context what one of the protesters who have said in your report, that this man is a liar. He has really put it in a nutshell. This man is a liar. He is now holding the whole world at ransom. He is a gambler. He thinks that he can take the world into ransom by saying that if he leaves, he'll push the whole area into sort of bloodshed and into anarchy. And he's actually threatening to take peace and stability in the region into a downhill trend.
But let's say he does agree to go, and the main opposition party says, yes, okay, this is fine by us. Is there a problem with those people who aren't allied to that opposition group who will say, I'm sorry, hang on, this guy's got to stand trial. We can't let him go.
I think it was a fair trade, for his amnesty. He lives within 30 days. But I have said more than once, if he is actually convinced, if he agrees to the principle of leaving the power, then I think he himself will realize that the earlier he leaves, the better for him. Because as long as he sticks to power for another 3 or 4 weeks, then there will be more bloodshed. And this will take him, obviously, on the route of not having the amnesty, which he's looking forward to. And people will then stick to the idea that they want him to stand trial, not only for the crimes and atrocities which he has committed against humanity, but also for the funds he has embezzled, and he's continuing to embezzle until now.
Isn't there another difficulty here, and that is that he says he wants to be part of the transfer of power, overseeing the formation of the next government before he goes. And the opposition and the protesters are saying, sorry, I'm afraid with what you've done to the country, we don't want you to have any part in its future.
I think that was the case just 3-4 hours ago. But now with him coming out by himself, because there was no frank acceptance by Ali Abdullah Saleh of the initiative put by the GCC, by our brothers of the GCC. It was a spokesman for what is said as a spokesman for the government. But now the president has came by himself and he said he will not surrender power. The only way for him to surrender power, he said, is through the ballot box. And again, he's cheating the world. What ballot box? He came through the ballot box by cheating in 2006. That elections in 2006 were completely fraud. And now I think he has raised the stakes for his gambles. I think our brothers at the GCC have got to play harder cards on him. They have got to freeze all his assets and funds in the GCC. And we have been yesterday here in protest in front of the American embassy with all the youth here in the UK, asking actually our friends in the West, especially the United States and the United Kingdom and Europe, they have got to really push this man to understand what he is taking the world into. He is taking the world, holding it at ransom, pushing the whole area into anarchy. He is threatening the whole peace, stability and security of the region. I think there are more leverage on him, which should have started now to move by the US, by UK, by by the European Union to freeze his assets and to stop any of his assistance given any visa. Assurance of visa has got to be stopped, and then he will understand that he has got to move and he has got to budge out of power, because he's taking the whole area. He is not only compromising the stability and security and peace of Yemen, but it's the security and stability of the region and the whole world. And he has got to understand that. This man will never understand. He will only understand pressure when it's really very heavy on his shoulders.
Mohamed Qubaty, thank you very much indeed. Glad I got your name right on this occasion. I hope it wasn't me that got it wrong last time. But whatever.
No, thank you, David. I remember you from my days here in David Foster. Yes, it was you who you said Qubaty instead of Qubaty.
I did, didn't I? I did. You know, listen, I'm not getting out of it, but I promise you it was spelt wrongly.
Okay, yes, you're right. I think the spelling. Thank you.
Listen, thank you. Always good to have you on the News Hour.